I'm trying to keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Makes things easier.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you sipping that bourbon? Okay.
Getting paid. Yeah, nigga, we gotta step it up.
Man.
Gotta step it up.
Man, it's all right, fam.
What's happening that side, bro? What's going on?
Nothing much. Baby's asleep. Jade went to do her.
Her.
Yeah, her, man. So it's just me in the house who's alive.
Mm.
Yeah,
man. Summertime.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up these.
For who, bro?
What?
For who? Summertime or no summertime? You and me are indoors, so I don't know what you're on about. Summertime, no summertime.
This year we're gonna go party this year. When they open up for us, we out.
Nah, fam, I'm not trying to survive lockdown and then die. Or when they open up. What is the point? Man. No, I'm gonna let people rush outside, let them have a go, and then when they calm down, let them feel it, let them do what they want to do. Then when they calm down, I'm gonna come back and be like, okay, sharp. Let me go
now
experience outside. Yeah, we're good, bro. I mean, already like car accidents and stuff at work are starting to come up.
Oh, they've shot up. It's because people are drinking in these streets again.
Yeah, exactly. They're drinking. But the messed up thing is that now if you've got insurance, they don't pay. Because if you get into an accident past 10 o'clock, it's like you're breaking the law.
Oh.
Yeah. So insurances are having a good time because everyone is having accidents. It's usually between 10 and 5 in the morning anyway. And that's what's the lockdown period. So if you have an accident, then they're like, well, you're breaking the law. So
you weren't supposed to be in your car in any case.
You weren't supposed to be in your car, yeah. I've had a couple of cases like that already.
Jeez.
So yeah, man.
It's best to stay indoors, bro. I was out on Friday. We went for drinks. I wasn't. No, not at night. I don't do those things anymore. Since New Year's, I don't do those things. Yeah, no, we went out for drinks. It was a weird experience because people, everyone is still a little bit paranoid. In the beginning, people still had their masks on. They tell you that you can sit down at your table. You can have your mask off completely. And then if you need to go to the bathroom, then obviously just pop the mask on. But like it was fairly normal. I looked around and I saw people that were very comfortable. Like they haven't been paranoid, or they've moved out of that feeling of paranoia a long time ago. So they've been loose, no mask, nothing like that. Whereas we were like, covering, and it was
yeah.
So
some people are just treating it like their normal lives now, and you shouldn't. Essentially, you really shouldn't. I was supposed to visit a certain, I'm not gonna say his full name, but I was supposed to visit a certain Gazi, and he ended up being diagnosed with COVID. So yeah.
What, like the day you were meant to see him?
I was supposed to see him yesterday when I was post-call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to see him yesterday. Man down. COVID.
Man down. So. You see. So
yeah,
dude. It's easy.
And he just went back to gym. Bro.
You see.
Yeah. If you're gonna catch it anyway, it's at a gym.
Because you are literally, you're just leaving yourself everywhere. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I was thinking the same thing. I was like, if I caught it, if there was ever a day that I was gonna catch it. First, I thought it was the day I got my hair cut because that guy's hands were all over my face. But on Friday, there were 5 of us at the table, and we were just essentially just chilling, like, we weren't like if I had something on my plate, I was like, hey, do you want to try some? It wasn't like a case of, okay, now I'm gonna have to push it onto a new plate and then give the plate. And Like they and the restaurant
and
is also
alcohol seasoning on it.
Hey, bro.
Taste
so
this.
So we weren't doing those things. We were just living, and I think that's where, I won't lie, my guard was down. The whole time I was there, I was just chilling. My guard was down, and that's the time. And I get you, like you don't want to die a few days before the war ends, bro. It must be the worst.
Bruh.
You fought, yeah. Huh?
I don't know if a girl died we used to work, do some locums where I work.
Huh? What do you mean?
She was fairly new. She started working there around Feb, March, doing locums where I work. Yeah, one of the doctors. A young girl, probably like 30, 33, 34. She also worked at Barra, yeah. And then the other day, just randomly, they're like, nah, she's passed. I was like, what? It turns out her dad had passed from COVID end of July. And then, I don't know, they're saying that she had some anaphylactic reaction to something. I'm just like, what? How random is that,
what?
Bro?
So hers wasn't even COVID.
2020 doesn't need a reason. I've realized 2020 doesn't need a reason. It's here to it's chosen the people, and it's like, yeah, either way, we don't even gonna try to cover up what we do here. We're just taking people. We're taking people now. So I mean, just add it to the list. How it go, how it happens, it doesn't matter. We don't need to explain anything. Just let it happen, and they need to get on the boat because yeah. Can you imagine that family now has lost the father of the house and now the daughter.
And this is a full doctor.
Yes, with an MBA. Just got an MBA. Bruh, 2020 ain't shit. 2020, yeah, bruh, this year.
Yeah, dude. The family that I had that was ill, as well as Mo as well, they've pretty much all recovered. So yeah, my assistant as well. These people were chilling in hospital, in the ICU. One was discharged earlier this week. That we're expecting the other one to get discharged later this week. Later this coming week. So yeah, but like they were close. We feel from what we were hearing from the hospital. So yeah, man. Yeah, bro. And now the artists are complaining. They're on it again. It's getting bad now. Did you see that rioting that was happening?
The one in Durban. They were striking. Yeah, I saw them striking on the highway. Then like a couple of days later, I saw him getting arrested.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these guys don't have much left. I can imagine that they really weren't getting that much. And now they're really not getting anything. So they had nothing to lose. So,
jeez, dude, that's sad, man. That's honestly sad because, like, I feel like at least the fact that you had made it some way, you know, because a lot of those Durban artists, you know, they've got their community, they have frequent club performances, there's frequent parties in Durban because there's never a winter, so it's party throughout the year. There's always something happening every week. So they've actually managed to make like a proper career out of it, an environment where people can come into and earn some money consistently on a weekly basis. And for that to be taken away completely it's just not fair. I think maybe the Joburg artists a little less because there wasn't that sense of like what Tira and them have done there in Durban. They've literally created, I don't know, like what you call it, but like a system, you know, whereby you have frequent events, you discover new talent frequently, you grow it, you create the events yourself so that you can put in the new people to come in. It's just it was very streamlined what they had.
There was a whole system going.
Yeah, there was a whole system going, and now for all of that to be cancelled in one go, it's rough. I mean, Joe Big was hustle anyway. Like I feel like you are hustling to whoever you are. You are hustling to get your performances. You are hustling to do anything in terms of parties and performances and events. So for Durban people, I understand why they were the first people out on the street saying that we need we need things to go back to it the way they were. So yeah, it's rough.
And you look at the implications of it, and you're kind of like, look, we need to have a way. I think we spoke about it the last time, that we need to have a way that we can at least subsidize these guys while they're going through this. But at the same time, you're like, okay, cool. But now we've opening up the economy. We've opened up pretty much all of it, except for everything that has to do with any sort of like gathering, and they're still suffering.
Yeah. It's late, bro. But I mean, it's probably not that far off now from opening.
You're right, so.
Yeah, you even look at the numbers. I mean, at our peak, it was what, 13,000, 15,000 new cases a day. We've come down all the way to like 2,000. Like it's like peaking at like 2,000 on a day, and then sometimes even 500, and then it'll be like 800. Then you know what I mean? Like it's now in the lower parts. Even if you look at the charts, it's literally like a massive triangle.
We're on the other side
down, now. And now we're on the other side, and it's just doing this.
It's just teetering. So I think maybe what they'll probably do, I'm sure they've got whole like councils for this, but like if they can see that it's at a sustained low level, then they will slowly open and say, okay, sharp, you guys can have your events, 100 people, 200, 1,000, whatever it is, and then they'll have to comply and stuff, which will be good, because then at least if what that does is it opens up the event space. Because I'm thinking for people who can, I'm not thinking about like the clubs and stuff. I'm thinking about the places where it's a little bit more formal, like a wedding, and you can have your wedding bands and your wedding singers and your funerals and whoever it is going to be performing in those places, in those controlled areas, as long as they can comply with COVID standards, then they can start doing stuff. At least not all the artists will be introduced, but some of them will. And then what that'll also do is it'll allow for artists to now step out and say, cool, what can we start doing? Then they'll get creative. You know, your events organizers, your pop bottles and those people. I know they've already started. You've seen how they're doing these lockdown house parties and all that stuff. So sharp, at least there's something there. But the problem is, the biggest issue is that, and this is a problem, because I saw it in the Premier League as well with the soccer, but with the Premier League, they've got sponsors that will always want to be seen. They've got, in fact, now even where the fans are supposed to be sitting, they've got these massive covers that are sponsored. They're sponsored by someone, so you can be seen properly for the full 90 minutes. But unfortunately, with like a lockdown house party or like a pop bottles, you have your event, but the number one thing you need there is the people. And that's the number one thing that they're not getting. And I think that's the thing it's just annoying people, because now people are like, shit, we need the fans, but where are the fans? So I think we need to wait for that to happen. Then they'll be happy.
I don't know. I don't know if I still don't know if it'll be this year. But the one thing I can say is that you can't stop South Africans in December. I don't know how you're gonna stop that. I don't know how you're gonna stop South Africans in December. Worse if you don't give them the events. Bro, it's gonna be a mini civil war, you know, between police and authorities and South Africans, because I don't know how you're gonna stop December, bro. Like it's just I don't see how they're gonna stop that. And especially now that the peak has passed. It's for the rest of those December type South Africans, they started their plans
already. You're like, but come on.
Yeah, exactly. Whether you give them events or not, like now it's not even a case of they're waiting for your permission. Now it's open gates for them. December is being planned, bro. I am telling you, bro. Even if events haven't opened up in December, I am telling you, we'll still see a very similar December to what we normally see. I don't think it's going to be that different.
And all it's going to mean is now people are going to go all the way. Like, I see people are going ham now. Those that can are going absolutely ballistic.
Exactly, bro.
So the moment it's open gates, you. And it's the young cats. It's the people in their 20s. Well, I'd say in the 30s as well, but we're dying too.
Yeah.
But like, it's the young cats. Those are the ones that now they're like, hi man, but some of us have gotten it already. We've been in households where people have had that thing twice and we still good. So I'm immune. And you know, when you get that factor, you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm all right. This thing can't touch me.
I don't want that thing, bro. I'm still scared enough to not want that thing.
But who's to say you didn't get it already?
That's true. But I still haven't. There still hasn't been an official thing saying that there's proof that if you've had it once, you don't get it again. Because initially, remember when after China opened up, then people in Wuhan who had been treated got it.
Got it a second time. We had an assistant. So, we had an assistant. She got it as I don't want to put a business out there, but she went to church. Let me say that. She went to church the first time. She caught the thing. She was ill. Then she got better. Then she went to church again, and then she got ill again. So we were like, "Whoa, what's going on?" They sent her. They were like, maybe it's COVID, and they checked. Yeah, it was COVID. So it can't hit you twice. It can't hit you twice. So
you see, yeah. So like with everyone opening up, I'm just like, I'm actually surprised that with the pathogenesis, or the incidence rather, like that there's a peak to it and it comes down. I mean, if you can get it again, then why is it that there's a peak? I mean, you should see a peak and pretty much a plateau.
Like a trough. It should go, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it should go like that instead of up and then suddenly, down. Like, for me, I don't understand why it works like that. Another thing is that, they talk about this whole thing about it doesn't like the heat. And because it's summer, it's not going to last long on the surfaces and things like that. It's just going to burn away. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to see that happen, because I think that's what allowed European countries to open up not too long after us, because I think their numbers went down during our winter.
Yes, so as they were in summer.
Yeah. So when their summer came through, their numbers came down drastically, and they pretty much opened up. So yeah. I'm not sure if that's the case.
Yeah.
Anyway, music-wise, I wanted to ask you a question. Have you listened to Casper's new album?
Hey, bro, can I tell you? I've had more conversations about Casper's album than I have even listened to it. I haven't listened to it. You know me, I don't like hype. I listened to. Yes, I was telling the one guy.
I figured you wouldn't have listened to it. I figured you wouldn't have listened to it.
No, there's too much happening.
What have you heard? Let me be honest. I haven't listened to the full thing.
Yeah,
it's too long. I'm gonna listen to it when I drive to make and that's what I've been doing. It's too long. It's 21 tracks. It's too long. Even Lil Wayne, when he came back with when he finally released the Carter 5, I understand he had a lot of music he had been holding back.
In him, so he needed to just,
yeah, maybe that's why it was changed. But even then, it proved that 21 tracks, people just aren't ready for that anymore. So when I saw 21 tracks, I was just like, why would he do it? Maybe because he thought, Drake did it, but Drake did a thing of like an A and B side. So you knew you were getting it almost like a different genre.
Exactly, a different sound.
On the other side. Yeah. But based on what I've listened to already, which is the first 10 tracks, it's strange because it's not. I'm thinking there's quite a clear difference to what he usually does, and I'm thinking maybe the other half, maybe the 10 tracks I'm still to listen to now is a B-side and its usual Casper in your verse, because I just want to hear, what did you hear so far?
What have I heard so far? Okay, so essentially what I've heard from most people is that they also haven't finished it. Them as well, they've said the exact same thing that you said. It's long. And they're listening. Like, we're consuming music on the move now. So the one guy was like, Ayo, he's a big hip-hop fan. He's like, Ayo, man, I've heard it. I've heard up to like track, like the first 7 or 8 tracks. And he was liking what was going on. But like he was like, okay, cool, but maybe later on. And then I even asked him, was like, where's Ahmad Dimon? Because I figured maybe that one was in the beginning. I think it's like track 14 or something. It's a little bit later on in it. He showed me the track listing. We didn't listen to it. But again, I've been hearing a lot of like, it's not lukewarm. It's a little bit better than lukewarm, but it's not like, okay, we are in now. Casper is our guy again. He then also had the conversation with that guy and in even the producer group. We were talking about visuals and how with a project like this, he might actually have to wait for that opportunity to say, look, Sharp, these are the best, 5 tracks I'm going to invest on videos. Like we did with Tito Mboweni, where we got the track and we were like, huh? And then when the video came out, we were like, yeah. Then we pulled back. We're like, yeah, this is the one. So it might very well be a case of timing. And now he now needs to figure out how he's going to do the timing with the videos. But that's going to be the actual push where the tracks and stuff start to pick up. Because for the time being, I still think it's going to be a case of it's just a bunch of tracks we're waiting for. I saw him previewing another drill track that wasn't Ahmad Dimon. I don't know what it was, but I was like, is this the sound? Is this the sound he's going to go for the entire album? And now, based on what I heard from that guy, and I'm sure you can tell me as well, from the first tracks, how many drill tracks did you hear? None. Then it means that there's only 2 now that I know. I don't know. I'll have to go in and listen, but I don't know. I don't want to be like influenced by people's opinions. I did the same thing with 444. I think I only heard it like a year and a half ago for the first time. But when I heard it, I had accepted the hype and I brushed it aside, got tired of it. And then eventually I went in and I was like, okay, now I can appreciate it from track 1 right to the end of the project. So I think I want to have to do the same thing here.
Yeah. Speaking of 444, my take on it, right, is that first, in terms of songs, right, it's strange because the first 10 tracks, it's like he's emulating a 444. Very personal. It's very much about his relationships with people, thoughts, with the media, himself, a reflective sort of songs. Purely 10 tracks. Every song you think now this is about to be like a proper hip-hop song, then nope, still reflection. It's
introspective.
Like, okay. Yes. And for me, in that first 10, he could have done without 6 of them. You know what I mean?
Those
not that they bad songs, but in terms of telling your story in a compact, succinct way, he could have eliminated 6 of them and even released them bit by bit in EPs to follow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there were times still some of them speaking on the same thing, still speaking about relationships with other people and how he's viewed and all of that stuff. So he could have taken some tracks out to tell later, because it's kind of telling the same thing, just in a different way, different angle, different beat. You know what I mean? So that already could have just cut down the number of tracks by doing that. And then the one thing immediately I wanted to call you on is that I was not happy with the engineering. His engineer, bro, we've been talking about this for years. From Kusheshe to Doc Shebele. I don't know what's happening. And I saw a video on YouTube. There's a thing about him when he recorded with Uzola, which is his second single that he released before the album release. So when I saw the recording session, it was at his new studio that he built. And I saw that, he's got the...
Casper's new studio.
Yeah, I think it was his new studio. I think he built it in his house. He'd been going on about it for a while. You'd saying that he's building a studio.
He's headed for a while. He's headed for a while though. His studio.
No, not the one you've seen before. Not the one the little room. He actually now built like what looks to be like a professional studio. There was one he had in his house with the computer, the glass, sort of like a studio, but not like
it's not like a full-on studio.
Yeah, not like a full-on studio. This one looked more like a full-on studio with the hardware, with the software for the hardware. The other one looked more digital, looked like it was just screens and computers and stuff, whereas this one actually has hardware in it. So he had I could see a couple of SSLs and things like that in the background in that hardware. And I was like, okay, cool. He's done all that. Then I'm sure it's going to be like maybe I don't know, if he's invested that much, then maybe he's going for that
analog crispness.
Analog crispness. And then the first song after this first skit is just, bruh, I was just like, what is going on? Like the reverb is massive and things are out of place. Like the transient of like drums and hits. Some of them are too loud. It's like, it's not proportional. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, I don't understand, because the selection of the sounds was strange. The way the vocals were done, I was just like, okay, could have made them a little tighter. And then on top of that, there were sounds that were there, and I was just like, but why weren't those things controlled? Because that would have been controlled in your compression and then going on to your mastering. And, you know, by the time that thing is out, you would have controlled and made sure that all these things are sitting in the same place. But it's not like that with every track, which is another weird thing. Because when you've made an album, you tend to have, you know, one engineer, one mastering process, which kind of makes the overall sound sit in the same place. And his didn't. There's some tracks
that are tell really you why.
Good, and they're really well balanced. You're saying?
I can tell you why. In our producer group, it's going to be difficult for me to scroll back, but there's a person in the producer group who engineered some of the tracks. I think he engineered maybe 2 or 3 of the tracks, and we were like asking questions, but no, it can't be you. You didn't engineer the track. And he mentioned that he I forgot which one it was, but he did the mixing and the mastering. And again, my first thought was, okay, so if you did the mixing and the mastering, I know for a fact that you didn't do it at that studio. You probably sat in your own space, wherever it was, and you did the mixing and the mastering there. So I think having the equipment sharp, he's got the equipment. The problem is now the centralization of everything. Everything that I've worked on, I know when I'm the executive, I centralize everything. When I'm like, I know you've mixed it that side there, bring it here so I can touch it, so that I can try and balance it out with everything else. And you get that thing that you're talking about where there is some kind, even if it's just a volume consistency or like a dynamics consistency across the board. But that is definitely another thing that the guy commented in the group. Some people were okay with his mixing. Others were like, yeah, you did a good job. Other people, I know for a fact, want some, this was not it.
Yeah.
So I think even there still, there needs to be some kind of, you can have all the equipment, but at the end of the day, it's the usage, the knowledge.
The thing is that this is his, 4th album? And the level he's at, I mean, the only reason we're able to criticize like this is because he's been around long enough, which is a positive thing. Also that he's set a standard, which is a positive thing. But then, you know, it comes with the 4th album. It should be, in terms of these things I'm talking about, I feel like I shouldn't be talking about with an
you
artist.
iron them out in the 1st or the 2nd album. You iron them out there.
You iron them out, exactly. And we easily forgave those ones in the past. We weren't really complaining too much about them.
Doc Shebeleza was forgiveness, bruh.
It was pure forgiveness, exactly.
Yeah.
Even if you go back to Kusheshe, it's also the same thing. It was forgiveness, and we were just happy to have those songs. But then now with this one, it's not really like, it's all of these things. It's just like, I don't think anyone should be like, oh, that album sucked, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So far. Like, I definitely don't think anyone should be like, oh, Casper's album is trash. I don't think that's true. I think the fact that we're just talking about all these things that we're pointing out and stuff is at least because he's set himself to be at a higher level. So now we're all coming in with expectations, and we want to see those things. So for me, it's not bad at all. I don't think anyone should be saying that. I liked the fact that if we come down to lyrics, I like a lot of the lyrics and storytelling that he has. You can tell when someone is trying, is what I'm saying. You can tell when someone is putting effort into something, especially lyrically. You can tell, okay, I can see what they were doing here. I can see that, oh, this song, they were telling themselves this is going to be about punchlines. And in this one here, they were making sure that they have a few good bars, you know, to fit the scene. You know what I mean? I was doing that. And even surprised me with one of the tracks also, where it's like a slow modern, you know, Cesar and those type of people. Yeah, it's a slow, it's a track like that. And I was like, this is good. This is one of the ones where I would have been like, you know, cut out those 6 other tracks and keep like 4 unique ones, 4 ones that are different. So you already had some that were slightly different to each other, then there were like ones that were drastically different. So you should have picked the ones that were similar, pick the best one, put that one in. Similar, pick the best one, put that one in. Because then you would have really had
quality, like a tight.
Yes, that quality would have only been at that high level track, and each one would have been unique and would have shown range very quickly. He's also got a nice one with Anthony Hamilton. That's one of the nice ones once again. Yeah, and it's a very Rick Ross type situation.
Justice League sort of situation.
Maybach Music.
Justice League.
Pretty much, yes. So so he has basically, I feel like he was trying to Magna Carta it in the first 10 songs, trying to 444 it. And for me, it also just didn't fit in that way because the image he's been portraying up until now has still been party up, turn up, hustler, Cass. So it just that also is another thing that just didn't align for me. It was just like, okay, cool, you've got your kid on the front, which I expected some seriousness. We're having an ultrasound of your child on the front, but to be honest, those first 10 tracks aren't even about the child. So once again, detachment.
There's a disconnect.
Yeah, there's a bit of that disconnect. He does touch on the baby mama and singing about her, but it wasn't like that was the story being told. It wasn't a theme. So the theme even is still not running in this one so far. It's just a lot of things that are a little bit all over the place. Let me put it that way. Whereas it's not a bad thing because I just feel like he could have just tightened it up to make it sit at a higher level than it's sitting. By just tightening up and making sure everything fits in terms of the instrumentals, in terms of the content, the lyrics, all of that stuff we've just discussed. If he had done that and just made it a little more compact, already I'd be like, oh, this is a really good one. Yeah, it's a lot better because there's a lot to listen to and there's a lot of different things you're going to get from it. And then push a little bit of the drill because it's what he's been speaking about. Once again, he's been speaking about the drill, but then to go through 10 tracks of not hearing the drill, you're like,
the drill.
Then
where is it?
Where is it? Yeah. The last track I listened to was the one with Youngster. And even there, it's a basically a Black Lives Matter type song. It's that kind of vibe that he was going for. But it just felt disconnected because I was just like, where is this coming from? Not that issue shouldn't be spoken about, and it's about time South African artists start speaking on these issues. I don't know what's taking them so long. But at the same time, I was just like, okay, but with your current image and who you are, I didn't see it.
You didn't expect it to come from him. Sure, it needs to come out, but just not specifically from him.
Yes. And then on top of that, like Youngster CPT's verse outshines his by a mile.
Which is something he's known for.
Yes, exactly. It's something he's known for. Then the beat even changes for him and gets a little more intense and stuff like that. I was like, okay, but then why would you let that happen? Once again, why would you let that happen? You know me, bro. I'm not, for one, in terms of lyrics and stuff like that, I never want to get on the track and feel like I was outdone by someone else. It's enough when if you're sending the song to someone, it's for their track, then sure, you're fine. You're just going to do what you can do. You're going to send it. You're going to be okay with that. But not that you're receiving stuff from people and then you hear someone's lyrics, then you're like, okay, yeah, cool. I'll just do what I do. And that's it. I'll just do, in a simple way. No way, bro. Like as a rapper, I feel like that's when you should be like, no.
I'm gonna go rewrite. I'm gonna go rewrite this.
Yes. There's a song by Lil Wayne. It's called, Ain't Got Nothing. It's on the Carter 3 and it's featuring Jules Santana and Fabulous. Fabulous is already lyrical. Jules Santana came through. Now in their verses, the verses were packed with bars, bro, just bars on bars. And then someone made the comment even that you can tell by Lil Wayne's verse that this guy must have got the other two guys' verses first. Because the beat changes, becomes more intense, he goes for double the time they went. So you can tell someone was feeling under pressure. Yes,
yeah.
exactly. You can tell someone was like, and that's the culture of rap for me that I really enjoy. That thing of like, you know, if people are going hard on a track, let everyone go hard. Like, don't let it be someone who's just like completely slacks. They can do it their own style.
Yes.
And be, you know, thing. But it can't be one of those things where you know they can rap, but then they choose that song to just chill out, and you're like, oh. But then I don't understand. Everyone was going hard. Everyone was doing the thing, and then you just came through and you're like, you just chill through the track. It doesn't make sense. So with that song with Nasty, I mean with Youngster CPT, for me, I was just once again just a little bit random. And not because it was a bad song, nothing. It's not about the song itself. It's just it's not tight enough. I don't know if I'm explaining everything right, but I think you get what I'm saying. Things aren't coming together as they should, whereas he could have made a few easy changes and it really would have just done that. It would have fitted. Maybe people will appreciate it more when they get time to sit back and listen. It just becomes one of those albums that, you know, his fans really just listen to, because there's a lot to sit down and listen to. So maybe, I don't know, in the current climate with people having short attention spans. Yeah, but maybe it might be a case of that. So for me, yeah, so far okay. Nothing that bad to say. Just could have been tighter, and I'm hoping there's a total switch from track 11 onwards, because to be honest, I can't listen to any more of the self-reflection. Yeah. I never thought I'd say, but I think I can do with a little more party up now. Like I'm at that point of, okay, cool. Every track I'm listening to, I'm like, okay, cool. Yes, all right.
Where is that thing now?
Yeah, but you are known for a certain thing. You are known for being able to do your little storytelling, but at the same time, then you come with those tracks that be like, I don't like this song. I don't like, Dad, man, you got me. Damn it. You know what I mean? It always comes through with that.
Yeah, there'll always be something.
That's his thing. There'll always be that something. So I'm just hoping that he switched, because if he doesn't make a complete turnaround, then it becomes something nice, because then you can say the first half is not my thing. The second half, I listen to all 10 tracks. That's okay then. Then he's got everyone debating, just like Drake did with a B-side. Is that I don't think I even heard the B-side, to be honest. I listened to that first side with the normal hip-hop songs. The other R&B Drake thing, you know me, I'm not.
You're not there.
That's for me. That's exactly what killed hip-hop. That B-side, that Drake killed hip-hop. So I was.
And for me, it's the other way around. For me, it's the other way around.
No.
I listened to the first half, and I was like, okay, there's tracks here that I enjoy. But they were, I think, one of the 2 or 3 of the more upbeat R&B-ish type of ones that are on the B side. That's the kind of sound where I'm like, okay, cool, you can live around here. The rap stuff.
Were those the ones that were released?
Those are the ones.
Oh,
as singles, the singles, ne? Yeah, the singles. The singles ended up being my favorite ones on the track. I prefer the rap stuff, but with him in particular on that project, it was the ones that they picked the right. Can I just say that they picked the right tracks?
Picked the right one.
Yeah, for those to become singles.
All right,
so,
maybe I'll go. Now that you said that, and I think about it, there are a lot of releases from that side, and maybe then I can listen to the in betweens, because I'll know now the other songs, and then in between I can just listen to it. I just wasn't in the mood for hearing. I thought it would be all
baby
Drake, you know,
just baby Drake.
Yeah, that one I can't. I'm really not a fan of that sound, and ladies love it. Like they love it. I've actually been forced to go listen to Drake, and not in the sense of like, you know, trying to force myself to enjoy his music, but I'm trying to understand what he did. I know the whole thing of getting on trends and biting a lot of lyrics and styles from people and putting a lot of nostalgia in some songs and things like that. I get all of that. But it was the little other tricks that he does. I watched the video and it spoke about how he starts with the bridge as the opening part of the song. So he'll say he knows it's coming in later, but he puts it in and it already repeating in your head. How he gets to the lyrics fairly fast with his releases. The lyrics of the song come very quickly instead of there being a long
intro or a chorus and then the verse.
He's also, yeah, the baby does that a lot. The song, the bouncy little baby thing starts, those weird 808s, and then immediately he just starts rapping or saying something. So those little tricks, I want to do more of that to make more musical songs. So I've always appreciated how musically you can tell that you may think it's just a random song, but in a simplification of things, it's what gets him the followers, the listeners, and everything, because he simplifies all these concepts. It's not difficult things to understand. He's just really, really simplified it. He does also a lot of one or two word choruses. God's plan. That was the chorus. God's plan. You know what I mean? He has a little bit of a sing-along, but the actual main thing, it's just something.
There's a line or there's something. Yeah.
Yes, it's a line for people to quickly absorb and cling onto, which is yet again simplification, but it's a skill in itself. Apparently 40, when he makes his instrumentals, so the ones made by 40, he wants Drake's vocals to always shine through. So what he does is he takes away anything that may clash. So you don't hear the typical knock. So that ovo sound came from the fact that he had just really stripped away the hip hop elements that clash with vocals. So your snares, your claps, and things like that hit hard and right on the vocal frequency. He just removed those and found a way of putting things around, and then it sounds empty, because that's what the overall sound was to people. It's like, oh, you just hear.
But he wanted the Drake vocal to come forward. So and even the way he did it, he mentioned that it's not just a high pass, because all of us that were listening were like, "Aye, man, this here it's a low pass.
Sweeps.
It just sweeps. He doesn't sweep. He degrades." And for most of us, we're like, what the hell do you mean by you degrade the sample rate and you degrade whatever it is that's going on the top end? And we were like, okay, cool. There was a guy who tried to do it. He didn't manage to do it so well, but 40 is he's like an engineer's engineer. He's the guy who wires and he does all of that stuff. So he essentially would clean up that area and he would say, screw that. Regardless of what the sound is, I don't care if it's a snare, I don't care if it's the most amazing shaker or hi-hat, I don't care. I will degrade the crap out of it to ensure that when that vocal comes through, that you feel it.
Right on top.
To a point that he probably only needs one. He just needs one clean take. And that's it. Doesn't need 10,000 coming from different angles. And that, for me, that there is, it's tricky. It is tricky. But again, it's one of those tricks. It's one of those tricks that those guys use. It's their sound and it works for them really well.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. But yeah, it's those small things that they're doing in that camp that I feel like, whether you like Drake or not, you just take a page out of what Drake does. Take a page of how he moves, of everything he does, because clearly it works. Like clearly it really does work. And it's not only that, but it's also, at least you can take a page because it's always current. So he executes current very well. So if you're stuck and you don't know how to be current, or don't know what elements to remove and what elements to add of yourself to be current, then just look what he does, because that's something he's really good at. So yeah, I think someone like Drake, for me, we not, a lot of us aren't gonna enjoy him now, but he's gonna go down in the history books whether you like him or not.
There's no debating there, bro. There's no debating there. This guy has essentially he owns it now.
Yeah, think about the kids who actually growing up with him. He's Michael Jackson. He's Michael Jackson to them. I'm not comparing him to Michael Jackson. I'm just saying he's Michael Jackson to them. So he's going to go down in the history books, and you can't deny it. I did spend a lot of time just purely hating, but it wasn't even hating him. I just hated what the oval sound did to everything.
Yeah.
It literally, two genres were taken down by one sound. R&B, whoop, here. Hip hop, down. Because of one sound that came through and made everyone want to simplify. And I was just like, the reason I enjoyed R&B was because it wasn't simplified. I liked the holy, someone just tearing through with a vocal in a song and almost near to tears, or you just hear the last bit of their range. You know what I mean? Like, you like, yo, this person was on the tipping point of their range. They pushed it to everything. I missed that. Whereas the oval sound told people to bring it right
Just
down.
relax,
Yes, to the point where you don't even know if someone really can sing. Some of these artists, they like actual proper singers, but with that sound, you're not supposed to belt out.
Don't push it too much.
You don't push it too much. You whisper and you do all sorts of weird things, and the tracks are empty, so you don't have the, you know, the typical R&B that
you have to fight too much.
You know what I mean? Like you don't have that nice swing. It's just overly simplified, and that's why the dude just, it got to me. It wasn't him. It was just everything that sound did. It stripped a lot away from what I enjoyed of R&B and hip hop music. And now hip hop, as we discussed when I was by your place, now hip hop is just in 2,000 pieces, lying everywhere all over the world. You don't know where hip hop is right now. Hip hop is in 2,000 pieces, lying everywhere all over the world in different subgenres, different languages, different cultures, different everything within America itself. That's the strange part, is that no matter what the rest of the world was doing, at least, you know, in America, there was that movement and that
there was a main movement at the time.
Yeah, there was a main movement. Now it's just, yo, I don't know.
Whatever goes, goes. And
exactly.
Yeah, whatever goes. People pick what they want to. And you see now micro industries like South Africa, where we're a lot smaller than them. We'll take what we want to from it. So there'll still be your typical trap sound, your drill now that's coming through. I get to see it from the clients that I get. I get to see what the main genre is, because it's funny, more and more clients will come in either requesting mix work or recording work, and drill has definitely picked up. I've worked on a lot more drill than I have like your super upbeat trap music. That has fallen away. If it is a trap sound, it is a lot more subdued, if it even is a trap sound, because now people are starting to move towards the local genres. It's funny now. People are now jumping into your Amapiano, your what else is big? All the different variations of it.
And
yeah,
you know, and with that, people jumping onto more local. If you listen to what Ambitious is currently doing, they knew this new generation of the artists is basically South African traditional music on top of the typical MT type of beats. So what MT started with that, and then they're now putting like people who are singing a little bit of hip hop-ish, but they sing either purely in their home language, or it's one of those styles of South African traditional music being put on top of those hip hop beats, but the ambitious type, the ones that they were still making when in 2015-16, they're still using those, but now they're throwing that, and they're doing well. I think this group, you know, Black Diamond.
I heard about them, and I heard that they were doing the very same thing. Was it? Who was mentioned? Someone mentioned them, and I was like, okay, cool. I'd like to hear them one day, but obviously I got busy. But it would make sense that they would try and capture as much of the South African market in the same way that they did with MTN.
Which is strange, because then it splits it even further within our own country, because now that it's going so traditional, you kind of not having your more nasty C type fans even going in that direction. You know what I mean? They won't even be listening unless it's those people, you know, because you have to be broad in South Africa and everything you do, whether it's languages, activities, or what, but you have to be broad. So you might absorb it, but if you a nasty C reason type of youngster CPT type of person, you're not gonna even bother there, which just separates it even more. And I'm just like, I feel like we're too small. For that.
You rate so?
Is it?
You think so?
I think we're too small. We're too small as a hip hop nation. As a hip hop nation, I feel like we're too small. With them doing that and opening themselves up to the traditional side, it's great because they've got plenty of radio stations that will play that, even if it's hip hop. But they've gone so because of that. It's great for them. I feel like for hip hop, it just once again has broken up into another piece. And you've got the Nasty C, the who's his main rival? What's it?
Who's this?
The Pretoria kid.
Oh, the Aries.
Aries, yeah. You got the Nasty C, Aries type of generation hip hop. That's also there, which doesn't involve those ones who kind of liked the South African sound, KOMT, Questa, people who, when hip hop started building up, were doing hip hop, but they were also throwing a lot of South African flavor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now that camp is also, it's branching off. The ones who prefer the Nasty C, Aries type of rap, they also now branching off to the camp, and they're not talking about, I doubt they'll be talking about Black Diamond and what. No, they won't be talking about that. They'll be talking about those kind of rappers. And then you've got the more popular guys, the AKAs. Still, you've got the AKAs and Caspers, people who just like the popular music. So I feel like it's just branching off, and it's not. I don't know if it will. It's supposed to come back. I mean, we've lost a whole 2 years of hip hop. Yeah. So I feel like it's supposed to be coming back now, but I'm just not sure if it's going to come back in that wave. In the wave that it was before.
It won't be as strong. It's not going to be as like when you got all the hip hop supporters, we're talking your 2015, 2016 time. We've got everybody kind of pushing the same sort of sound, and if it's hot, it's hot, and everybody pushes it. Same with the DJs, very small circles. But now, when we eventually do catch that, we will be very fragmented. There was an interview that I did earlier this week. It was a radio station, and I've completely forgotten what they're gonna kill me. But anyway, we were talking about the state of the SA industry at the moment. We were talking about, are we progressing? Are things getting better? My straight answer was no, it's not. We are behind what we were. We are not at our pinnacle. If there was some kind of hip-hop graph, we are not at the top anymore. We are below what we were before. And unfortunately, for us to get back there needs to be a bit more of this unity that we had, and even in terms of the consumption of it. Because we've fragmented so much, as you mentioned, with all the different types of genres. Hip-hop, but traditional. Trap, but traditional. Drill, but South African drill, whatever the hell that is. Then you've got all those very same genres, but you've got them on the commercial side as well, where it's hip-hop, but it's drill from the UK or from the States. And you've got then on top of all of that, you've got all your traditional genres, your boom bap hip-hop, which people are still recording. You've got your original trap that people are still recording. You've got your African trap, your initial ambitious sound. So you're right, it's just too fragmented that when we get to a point that when we're listening again and we're all back in it and we're going to venues, when it's time for the hip-hop set, you're now going to panic because you're going to start asking, what hip-hop am I going to get? It's not boom bap, drill, trap, hip-hop. It's not even that. It's going to be like, but are they going to play they'll play 2 nice tracks and then they'll be nuts. And then another nice track and nuts. This is, it's going to be... Yeah, right. No, it's not going to work.
I mean, I just thought of another fragment. You've seen or heard Constantine?
Oh yeah, I have.
So the whole movement with that, and you can just see it's different. It's already different. It's also like in America where those kids who are just there. I don't know those. What is the Tay one? Roly, what's that song? I don't even know. Roly, the Deborah. That song. You remember it?
Nah.
You know,
dude, just a second. Your signal is doing things again. We're getting choppy.
You've the last 2 minutes I haven't seen you move.
Serious? I've been okay. Well, yeah, obviously I'm moving on my side, but I think it's been the same for maybe about 5 or so minutes. So I'm just trying to see if there's something. I don't think anything new has happened though. Okay. I seem to be still be going strong. Let me see if I can plug myself in here. It's gonna get directly from the connection itself, the Wi-Fi. You still there?
At some point.
Hey. I'm not hearing you.
Huh?
No, I was saying I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you well.
25.
Hello? Yeah.